Just just give me a second and quickly start.
One student wants to ask some questions. Okay.
Yes, yes. Can I ask the student to ask?
Yeah, I will explain that once we will go through that. So I will explain it. Give me a second. Just share my screen. So let me share my screen and then we will start. So in this session, we will go through the process of installing Suricata intrusion detection system. Share the slides. So the idea here is to use this Suricata intrusion detection system, which is an open source intrusion detection system, and we can install it on Windows 11 machine or Windows 10, whatever we have. And by default, it will be installed in C program files directory. And we also need to download this packet capture library before installing this Suricata. Then only it will capture the packets and analyze it. So make sure that you also install this one. And all these links like proof, like emerging threat rules. So Suricata provides some default rules. So we can download those rules from the Suricata websites. They have different portals to download the rules. So you can find these links once you download the Suricata IDS and install it. So there is a directory, I will show that, where you can find a directory on how to install Suricata intrusion detection system on the Windows machine. And you can download the latest version, or also you can download a previous version. I think I have this 7.0.5 version, but you can also download the previous version, but it depends on you. So download the latest version, and if you have problem, then go and download the previous version. And yeah, as I mentioned, it will be downloaded in the installed in the default directory, which is C program files Suricata. Do not make any changes if you do not have any problem in installing this intrusion detection systems in the program files. So once it is installed, and once you will open this Suricata directory, as you can see here, in the program files, you will see a lot of DLL files and some configurations file, and some like here classification.config, threshold.config. And then this is a YAML file, which is a configuration file. Like it has a lot of configuration details. So we need to edit that. And then we'll see that you can download the custom rules, default rules, and you can also write the custom rules. Like for instance, let's say we just want to detect nmap TCP scan. So you can just write this rule. For instance, alert TCP. So it will detect the TCP protocol. And then what it signifies here, if you can see, external underscore net, any home underscore net. So what does it mean? So external underscore net means any traffic which is coming from any IP address, and which has a protocol TCP. And any means like if it is coming from any source port. So I do not care if it is coming from a particular source port. If it is coming from any source port, and home net means if it is coming on my machine. So for instance, let's say I'm protecting my Windows machine, which has an IP address of 10.0.2 dot something. So I do not care if it is coming on my home network, and if it is coming on any port, any destination port, that is fine. So just check that traffic and generate an alert for Nmap TCP scan. And then this is a signature identifier. So when you are writing the rules, you also need to specify a signature identifier which should be unique, and it should not match any other signature or rules in your rule directory. And then you can see here the revision that is maybe if it is a first time that you have written, you can just write a revision 2. And then the class type, in general, it is a TCP scan. So in the same way, you can write for Xmas or any other kind of scanning activities. But that is a fundamental that you can see, and we will go through the default rules, and you can see that how the rules are written. I will show that. But that is a fundamental way. If you see something, any rules like that, it means like it will generate an alert for TCP traffic which is coming from any external network from any like from any source port on the external network, and if it is coming on my home network on any destination, then and if this signature is matching, like if it is matching with the nmap scan, then generate this message, and it will keep the logs. So that is a fundamental about the rules. And then you can also specify if it is coming from any particular source IP address, or if it is coming on from a particular source port. That is also you can specify. And if you also want to specify any particular destination port, that is also you can do that. You can also specify a particular destination IP address. So everything is possible, but that is a very fundamental that you should understand, that it is an rule for generating an alert for TCP traffic, which is coming from any source IP address and on any source port, and it is coming on my home network on any destination port. And it should generate, and if it is an nmap TCP scan, then it will generate the message and keep the logs. And I will show these configuration that in the suricata.yml file, you will see that you need to specify the IP address of your destination machine on which Suricata is running. So for instance, here you can see that it is 2.7 because the IP address of my Windows was 2.7 at that point of time. So you just need to edit this part of the address group in the YAML file. And then you will see a lot of rules at the line number from the line number 1930. It can vary in your case, but in general, you will see a lot of rules. So maybe you can comment those rules and a particular rules that you are interested into, for instance, DOS rules, scan rules. So you can just uncomment that, and then Suricata will log uh, uh, alert for only those rules. Like if it sees the DOS traffic, denial of service traffic, or scan traffic, so it will keep everything in its log file. So for instance, what I did in this case, I uncommented these emerging DOS rules, emerging scan rules, emerging ICMP rules. So when you are editing this file for configurations, also make sure that everything is aligned properly. If there is any alignment problem, then it will flag an error while running the Suricata. And then you can see here the default rule directory, a rule path is C program file Suricata rules, and also make sure that these lines are uncommented and make sure that the rules directory is correctly specified here. And here, like I added my own rules, and then I uncommented that part. Like here, you can see that I added some rules in my created some rules and added in the Suricata to detect some particular traffic. So I added that here, and then you should copy that rules in the rule file. And then there is another configurations that you will have to do for the rules. You also need to specify which kind of class type that traffic belongs. So if you remember here, it belongs to, for instance, TCP scan. So you need to specify these things in the classification.config file. I will show that. And then these reference.config and threshold.config, it doesn't matter a lot. But threshold.config, what it does, let's say you have your Suricata IDS has detected particular traffic, like let's say it is a nmap scan coming from a particular IP source IP address. So it has already detected that, and you do not want your Suricata IDS to log that information in the alert file multiple times. So you should specify that once it has detected once it has logged, it should not trigger an alert again and for the same kind of traffic from the same source. and just logging the information multiple times, because that is of no use once it has been logged and once it has triggered an alert. So it is of no use to just keep logging the same information multiple times. So that you can specify that in threshold file, but we are not going into in that detail because we have to just do the simulations on a small infrastructure, small environment. And as I mentioned, make sure that uh, you are selected the NAT network. I will show that. And then to run the Suricata, you can run it as a service also in your Windows system, that whenever you start your Windows 10 or 11, it will automatically start. Or for instance, let's say in this one, we will just use it in the command prompt, because it can consume a lot of resources, and it can make your Windows slow if you just make it running as a service in your Windows virtual machine. So what we can do, we can just run it from the command prompt, and then we can launch the attack, and then get all the logs. Because our purpose is to get the logs of different kinds of attack traffic, and capture those information in using Suricata IDS, and then we can use some generative AI mechanisms or applications or deep learning models to further investigate those logs and see what kind of informations or features are really important for particular kind of traffic, and use those to build your own model later on. So that you can do. So here you can see that to run this Suricata intrusion detection system, you have to go in the program files, uh, uh, program file Suricata directory, and then you have to type suricata.exe, which is the application which I want to run, and then dash C signifies the configuration file, that is suricata.yml, and then dash I is for the interface, and 2.7 is the IP address on which Suricata is installed. And then you already know that I have covered this in the previous sessions, that you can use like denial of service, HPing, or any other tool that we covered to launch attack traffic. So let's say we use a scan and map scan to generate scan traffic, and you can generate it, and then Suricata will generate logs, and it will keep all the logs in the alert file, which is fast.log. So that is the general process. So let's go and check that how it works. Let me share my screen back again. Just give me a second, and I will make sure that, yeah, everything is working. So this is my Windows 11 virtual machines. And you can see that since I have already downloaded Suricata, but I will show you from where you can download that. This virtual machine is a bit slow. So just type in the Google Suricata download, and you will see this download page. Let's open it in your new tab. So this is homepage of Suricata intrusion detection system. And by default, it works as intrusion detection system. But to make it work as a intrusion prevention system, you have to configure it to drop the traffic. So in the rules that I showed you, I just wrote the rules like alert. So that means to trigger an alert when Suricata sees any traffic which is matching with its signature. So instead of alert, what I can also use, I can just write drop. So that means once the traffic it matches with any signature that Suricata has, then it will just drop or block the traffic. So that is the like configuring it for blocking or dropping the traffic. So you can download that Suricata from here. You can see that download. You can click here, and so now you have this new versions. Like one is just released April 8th, 2025. So you can download that. So that is like you can download Windows version. You can see, I think this is tar.gz file compressed. So you can download that, and you can also download the MSI installer for the previous one, 7.0.10. You can download that this 64-bit installer also it has, but try to use 7.0.10 because that is a stable version, and it is this one 8.0.0 is beta version. So download this intrusion Suricata stable version, and then you can use this. And I'm not going to download because it is already there. So let me go back. So here, so you can see that maybe at some point, yeah, this one, this is the Windows installer that you see here on my Windows 11 machine that I have. So this is a like installer, and then if it is compressed, you can just uncompress that and run this installer, and it will be installed in Suricata like C program file Suricata directory. So let's go back in that directory. So here you can see that it is installed in C program files Suricata directory. And it has all these DLL files and configuration files and application which is installed here. You can see the application, Suricata application, which is installed. So now what you can do, you can open this PDF file, how to Windows. So maybe let's say use this one. So this file has all the instructions to install Suricata, and it says that tested on Windows 10. But you can follow the same instructions, and you can install it on Windows 11 also. And when you are working with these tools, do not like whatever tools, like whether it is intrusion detection system or vulnerability assessment tools or scan tools or any DDoS tools. So if it doesn't work in one or two times or three times or four times, even five times, you have to constantly check the errors, try to analyze the error, what is the error, and then check that how you can resolve that issue. It is not like you just double click it and it is working fine. You may have a lot of errors, configuration errors. Maybe it will throw an error that, yeah, you need to have a particular dependencies. Maybe you need to download a JDK, or you need to have a Python environment set. So you can have multiple kinds of errors. So that is where the exploration part comes. So you need to have the fundamental understanding, and you need to analyze those information critically, and then check what you can do to resolve those errors. It is not like just you tried one or two times and that should be enough, so it is not working, and then you hands off. So it doesn't work like that. So try to use check the errors multiple times. If it is not working for 5, 6, 7 times, try it 8 times, 9 times. So then you will also have an experience what can be the challenges in installation of these tools or working with these tools. So even if it is installed properly, maybe you will have challenges in uh, keeping the logs or getting the logs properly. So check those errors. So what you can do to resolve those errors. So if it is giving you some error message, copy those errors also. And now you have the Google it and check whether other people have faced those kind of issues or not. And if they have faced, maybe they have proposed or given some solution, or somebody else has posted some solutions on some community page. So just go through that and then try to resolve your issues. It is not like you should just try 1 or 2 times or 3 times and then it is not working, so I left that. So it doesn't work like that. Not only in case of IDS, but any kind of cybersecurity tools, networking tools that you are working, you should try multiple times. Because when you will work in the company also, I mean, and if you are given these kind of tasks to configure a CM tool, for instance, or any intrusion detection system, and if it is not working 1 or 2 times, you cannot go and say to your manager that, yeah, I tried 2 times and it is not working. Your job is to check that what is the error, how you can resolve those errors. So that is for what you are getting the money. So you should go and check those things and build those kind of uh, critical analysis from right now, because that will help in your later part of your career. Because you cannot realize that, yeah, 1 or 2 times it is not working. Try to explore on your own, and if it is not working multiple times, like 10 times you have tried, then go and ask your friends also. Maybe someone else has resolved that issues. So try to collaborate, but also try to resolve the issues on your own, because that will give you some kind of experience how you can resolve these issues, because that will help in your career further. It's not like just tried 1 times and 2 times and that should be enough, because that will also help you in developing the skills needed for working in these areas. So one, you have downloaded that. So you see here, it asks you to install npcap. So while installation, when you will double click the installer button, you will see that maybe if npcap is not installed, maybe it can throw an error that npcap should be installed. So maybe you can then go and install npcap. And what you can do, you can download some rule set from this link. You can see here, it says that you will need rules, because Suricata inspect traffic based on rules. The rules usually reside in the installed dir, so that can be the C program files rules directory. And these are non-installed by default, so you can install them in any directory you wish. And you can get some rule set on these links. So you just click on here and open it in new tab. And you also have a rule writing manual, so you can also go through these. So let's say if you, sorry, you we have to find the rules. So they constantly change their page. So maybe the thing that you have downloaded 6 months back, you will not find. So you need to explore. So you can explore these pages. For instance, let's check where the rules are. And also, let's say we have to download that and it has been removed, maybe. So what you can also do, maybe they have kept it at some other location. So just open the Google. That is getting slow, so just wait for a while. Also, you can write here emerging threat rules Suricata. Maybe you can find it somewhere else. For instance, let's say open this one. You can also find it here. That is getting slow, so just wait. So this page that you see here, it is no longer supported. So maybe this was working fine previously, but now they have removed and they have uh, placed the content at some other location. So that is the exploration that you will have to do while working with these tools. So let's go and check here. So it is still opening. So this is also opening. So maybe here you can find the rules. So you see on GitHub, it is maintained some. So this is a rule for DOS. So you can have all these rules here. So if you click that, so you see here, you have the different kinds of rules, ICMP rules, malware rules, and for instance, scan. So let's open this one. So these are the description about the rules. You can read that. And then you can see here, these are the rules. So it mentions this is commented. So this rule will not work. So if it is commented, that means that rule will not work. So and if you find it here, what it does, it triggers an alert for TCP, and that is coming from any source, external source, from any external source port. And if it is coming on HTTP servers, and coming on HTTP port, then it will generate an alert for like this is the message that it will flag. So that is the rule. So this is a and then it will message that keep in the log that yeah, scan has been detected. Similarly, you will find other rules here. Like let's say take some basic rules. So this is also TCP. So this is also so this is UDP. So you can see here, it will generate an alert for UDP traffic, which is coming from any external IP address and on any external source port to our home network, that is on which maybe the Suricata is running or on let's say some particular network that we want. And then it will check for UDP service scan. If it finds that, then it will detect, flag those alerts. And you can see here, all these are the, it will match for these contents and it will check that. So that is the analysis, how these rules are written. So the rule writing guideline is here. You can go through that. It has a complete documentation. So learning how to write the rules, it will take a lot of time, because what kind of traffic that you want to detect. So by just going through randomly here about the rules, you won't be able to understand. what this rule is, what it is detecting. Of course, you can know that, yeah, this is for TC, UDP traffic and other fundamental information, but you will have to analyze all these information. What kind of particular threat that it is trying to detect from UDP traffic. So similarly, you will have a lot of rules. So I think it has 589 rules in this particular scan rule uh, file. Similarly, you will have a DOS and other things. So you can download these rules from here. And also you can try to see whether you have other place where you can, let's say, if you open this, I think this is not working. So maybe the new version that you will download, it will have a new link. So work with that link. So this is they have removed because I have a previous version, so it is not working. Also, you can try because they have also a place where you have the zip file. Wait. Uh, So let's check this one. Yeah, I think this is the rules, maybe. Yeah, these are different rules. I'm not going to use these ones. Let's check this one. Suricata 7.0. Yeah, from here you can download the rules. So you can see here, last modified is in June that they have modified, maybe June 10th, and that they have modified. And you can try downloading and see which one is working fine. So maybe let's try to download this emerging dash rules. Since I already have, so that is the way to explore. So if that link is not working, just sit idle that, yeah, the link is not working. Try to explore, and that is really needed in any kind of job that you will go. And then, I mean, nobody is going to sit and solve the problem for you. So try to explore that. So this is a huge file. I think it is 4.8 MB, not that huge. So you will be able, so once it is downloaded, so I'm not going to download this because I already have, but this is the way, like I showed that here, you can find this rule. Earlier, they had the link in this file, how to Windows, and you can directly open this one, and then it will open, click on this link, and then it will open this page directly. But now they have moved it. So you can explore that with proof point emerging threat rules, and then you can download this. And now let's go back and see what we have to do with those rules. So here you can see that I have already those rules emerging dot rules. So what you need to do, you need to uncompress that, and then you will find all the rules here. So here you can see activists rules, chat rules, info rules, policy rules. So there are different types of rules. SCADA to detect SCADA intrusion activities. So we have SCADA rules, scan rules. We have also denial of service somewhere. I think worm rules, phishing rules that we have. So there are a lot of rule malware rules here we have, and ICMP rules that you see here, denial of service rules that you see here. So all different kinds of and also these are the rules that initially you I would suggest you to test whether it is working fine for you or not, because then later on what you can do, you can go through the documentation and see how you can write the rules, because that will also require some time to devote to learn the way to write the rules. So you see here, these are the different kinds of UDP or denial of TCP attacks, flooding, attacks that they are trying to detect from these rules. And if it is commented, that means it doesn't work. So what it will do, Suricata IDS, it will analyze the payload and it will try to match with these signatures. And then it will check whether if it matches with this signature, then it will flag an attack. So you need to go and analyze these information. So what this threshold is, maybe it is counting like how many packets that in the last, for instance, 20 seconds that we received. So maybe that is what they are trying to see. How if let's say the amount of packets that we have received in the last 20 seconds on the server, then flag that as a UDP flood attack, so something like that. So you need to go and see what the informations are, and it will require some time to analyze what kind of attack that they want to detect. So most probably it is like detecting maybe this D size like signifies that, yeah, maybe if 900 packets are received in the last 20 seconds or something like that, it will flag flood denial of service flood attack. So let's see. So yeah, that is the TCP. So in this way, you will have to analyze the rules. It requires some time. You can read the rule guides and see how you can define the rules. So now let's go back. So what you can do initially, I would suggest, let me minimize this. You can extract the files here and just select, press Control A and Control C and copy all the rules, because initially our purpose is to just run this Suricata intrusion detection system and use the different attack tools that we covered in the previous session, and then see what Suricata is logging. And then you can use those information to build your models, and you can train those models and get the insights and see what you can again feedback in these intrusion detection systems to make it more efficient. So let's see what we have to do. So you can see here, I'm again back on my Suricata C program file Suricata directory. So what you can do, you can see whether there is a rules directory or not. If there is no, then just create a new directory by right clicking here and just create a new files folder, rules, and then copy all those rules in this one. Maybe there are already, if the rule directory is already there, then maybe you will have some rules. So it will ask that skip this, or so you can just mention that, yeah, just replace those files. So that is the way you can do that. And then you can also write your own custom rules. So here you can see that, let me. So you can write different rules like, so I will just go through one rule here. So for instance, this is to detect Nmap TCP scan. So you can just start with some basic rules writing, like to trigger an alert. So it will keep it in the its log directory of alert for traffic that is coming from any external source on any external source port. and that is coming to our home network. So that is the IP address of my machine where Suricata is installed. You can also provide the range of set the range of IP addresses. So I will show that where you can do that. And then it is coming on any source port. I do not care whether it is coming on a particular source port or not. And then if it is TCP traffic, and then scan it, check the message. If it is has a scanning is going on, then it will generate a scan message. And then you need to provide this signature identifier, which is unique. So this is unique in all these rules file. And then what is the revision number? So maybe I have revised this second time, so I have given the revision second. And then you need to mention the class type, which is TCP scan. And similarly, you can also mention on a particular port if the traffic is coming on a particular port. So let's say if it is coming on a particular destination port, so that is 444. Or if it is coming on another port, let's say 53, so you need to mention that. So for instance, this is to detect UDP flood attack. And what it will do, it will check by the count. So for instance, if in 5 seconds 50 packets have been received, then it will detect that, it will trigger an alert, and it will check the make generate a message that, yeah, DNS flooding attack has been detected. And similarly, you need to mention the signature identifier and the revision. So that is just a basic idea how Suricata rules can be written. So I'm not saying that you will just learn these things in 1 or 2 days or 1 week. It will require some time. You need to go through those documentation. You can find it on the Google also for rules writing, and just start with the basics. And parallelly, I mean, gradually you can learn how to write complex rules. And then once the Suricata will receive the traffic, it will analyze all the payload and other information of the packets. And once it matches with these kind of signature, then it will trigger an alert. So let's close this file, and I will show you. So that is the one rules aspect. So, but what you also need to do, you need to configure your, and also in the classification file. I will just show it quickly here. So for instance, you have seen that I have written the rules for Nmap TCP scan. So that is the classification information that you have to mention in this classification file to classify those traffic information. So that is like classify it TCP scan. And this, if it is, this is signifies the severity level. So if it is lower the number, the higher the severity impact. So one means the higher severity. And similarly, it will detect fin scan and other thing like Trojan activity. I have classified denial of service. I have classified. So if you write the rules there, you also need to mention in the classification file like which class type it belongs. If you have not written any rules, if you are working with the default rules that is already there, so then you don't need to come and modify anything here. So if you are working with the default rules, so that is totally fine for the experimentation and learning process. So then don't make any changes in this classification.config file. But if you write a rule, then make sure to also have this change in classification file to identify the class type, for instance, TCP scan. So let's close this. I will share these slides so that you can do it properly. And then the main thing is here, suricata.yml file. So that is the file that you will have to edit. Particularly, you can skip the rules part right now initially, because it takes time to learn how to write the rules. It is not very difficult. You can learn it, and but it can take some time. So initially, what you can do, just use the default rules. So that is totally fine. So you will see all these instructions here. You can see that. So first thing that you have to do, change this home net IP addresses. So you can see here, they have also specified the range 192.168.0.0 and 10.0.0. So also these things you can do, but it is better initially to start with a very specific IP address. So in my case, my Windows machine has an IP address of 10.0.2.15. So you can see that, and then CIDR, it is 24. So I have already shown how you can check the IP address on your Windows machine. So just type ipconfig and check if it is correct or not. So I can see that here the IP address is 10.0.2.15. And then you don't need to make any changes in after this line here. And I will show you. Yeah, here make sure that this line, so it can differ. So don't think that in your case this line will be same at line number 61. It can be at 59, 58, 64, 66. So just analyze this. But the fundamental thing that you have to change, I will just show those things. So make sure that this log directory is uncommented, because if it is commented, then it will not log any information. So just make sure that this default log directory, which is C program file Suricata log. So that should be uncommented. Then Suricata will log all the traffic according to the signature that or the rules that it has. So make sure that it is uncommented, and also make sure this stat is enabled, like yes. So that should be, and then you don't have to. And one thing that you have to make sure that it is enabled is in this output section, a line-based alerts log similar to snort fast.log. So what it will do, once let's say we perform the nmap scan, and once Suricata receives the traffic and matches with the signature or the rules, then if it is matching, it will log in the fast.log file. So make sure that enabled is yes, and file name here is uncommented, that fast.log, and append is written as yes, so that it can update the file and add new logs. And the file type, it should be regular. So all these information should be uncommented. So this is this fast file, what it will contain, it will contain all the logs of the traffic which matches with the rules that we have in Suricata rules directory. And then we have another file, if.json. So if log, what it does, it logs everything. So whether it is it matches with the signature or whether it doesn't match, it will log all the activities. So make sure that it is enabled as yes, and file type is mentioned as regular, and this is also uncommented. So what it will help you, so let's say you are using some large language models or deep learning models, and you want to build some model to classify the malicious or legitimate traffic effectively. So you can use this if.json file, because that will contain both uh, malicious contents and also legitimate content. So it will log everything. So that is the file that you can consider to analyze it, either using deep learning model or even if you are using large language model. So that is the file that you can take a look into that. So just make sure that everything is uncommented. And then you do not have to make any changes here. Make sure that these are uncommented, and here you also don't need to make any changes. So you can now scroll down, scroll down. So these are the protocols that it will go through. So here you don't need to make any changes. So you can scroll down. Here also you don't have to make any changes. So that changes initially that you have to do only that part, and then just scroll down, because then you have to make changes at the very bottom. So here now we have reached at in the bottom. So you need to make sure that the rule path is uncommented. So that is the C program file Suricata rules directory that we just saw. So that should be uncommented, and it should contain all the rules. So if by default it is it has the rules, that is fine. You can download the rules that I showed you and just copy paste, and you can replace the existing rules. So that should be fine. And maybe initially all these rules will be enabled. So you can leave that and just experiment with some scan traffic or some DDoS traffic and see how it is performing and whether it is logging or not. And also, what you can do, let's say you have written a rule. So then you can write the name of the file, like here I have added local.rules. And what I have done, I have commented many other rules because I was more interested into DOS rules. So I have uncommented that part, which I have downloaded the rules from Suricata and explored the rules to see whether any kind of Trojan is working or not. ICMP rule, I uncommented that, left it uncommented. And then malware rules also, I left it uncommented. And here, then you can comment all those things. Initially, if it is uncommented, just try with that. Because it also has the scan rules. So let me show you. So here you can see that emerging scan. So what you can do, you can use nmap scan and perform nmap zenmap scan and see whether Suricata is logging the information or not. And also similarly, you will see the denial of service. So you can just leave it uncommented and just try that and then see and make sure that if you are commenting these, then it should be properly aligned. Like here, you can see that I have just put the comment here, extreme left, and then all these are properly aligned. If there will be alignment problem, then it will throw an error. And then last part that you need to make sure that these three files, classification file that I showed you, reference.config, it is not very important, but what you need to make sure that it is uncommented, and threshold file, threshold.config, that I told you that what it does, it helps you to suppress the number of alert that is generated by Suricata. For instance, let's say it has, or you have performed the scan and it has logged those information, and now you want Suricata next time not to generate the log for the same kind of traffic from the same source, same port again, because that doesn't make sense. So then what you can do, you can make sure that you have written all those information in threshold.config file and make sure that it is uncommented. I will show that. But for the initial experimentation, you can leave it as it is. I have also left it as it is. It is not very important. Important is just make sure that the rules are working fine and Suricata is logging all the information. And then what you need to do, you need to save it. You can save the file from here. And also you can just click this button and you can save it. And then close this file. And let's go back here again. And what you also you can do, just use file from here. Let's say you or copy this reference.config file and paste it somewhere else in the download folder here. And then what you can do, for instance, open this. Because I do not want to like you can delete everything from here and just leave the first line like as it is here, you can see, and then rename this file as a threshold.config file and paste it in the Suricata program, program files Suricata directory. So let's check that. So you can see that here, this file is totally empty in this Suricata, this threshold.config file. So you can see that it is totally empty. Just I have put the hash. And if you do not have this file, just copy one configuration file like classification.config somewhere else. Oh, it is shut down. So just give me a second. I will start my Windows again. Just give me a second. Just I'm starting my virtual machine again. I don't know why it is shut down. So in the meantime, yeah, the question was firewall and traffic. So firewall is works like boundary protection device. So what it does, it will we will have some rules written in the firewall, and once a traffic is received by a firewall, so once firewall receive the traffic, what it will do, it with is rules in the flow table, and if it matches, and let's say the action written is to allow the traffic, so then it will be forwarded through the output port. But if the rule is to block or drop the traffic, then firewall will block the traffic. And if there is no rule in the firewall for a particular kind of traffic, so by default, it will drop all those traffic. And you should never write a rule in the firewall to allow by default, because then if attackers are launching some kind of traffic or scanning your network, all those traffic will bypass the firewall. So it is like a boundary protection device which you deploy it on your perimeter or boundary of your infrastructure. For instance, at a place where all traffics are coming in your infrastructure from the internet, and then you deploy that firewall. You can also deploy multiple layer of firewall to filter different kinds of traffic. So let me start my Windows. It is starting. So let me share my screen again. So we were going through the Suricata. So let's go back there again. So I just wait for a while. It's just opening. So for instance, so I showed why this has started. So I just showed that how you can configure the threshold.config file, and just copy this like a reference.config file. So reference.config file, you do not have to make any changes. So just leave it as it is. Do not make unnecessary changes. So you just have to leave this file as it is. So you can just select one configuration file like classification.config or reference.config. Let's say you copied this in your download folder, just remove everything, rename the file as threshold.config, and just put it here as a blank empty file, and then make sure that in your threshold suricata.yml file, everything is uncommented. So I think you understand these changes that we have to do. I will before. So just make sure that home is the IP address of your machine, and then make sure that these log directories are enabled. And here enabled is a yes, and fast.log, everything is enabled, and file type is mentioned as a regular. And in if.log, make sure that file name is mentioned as if.json, and file type is regular. So then you do not have to make any changes here. So just scroll down to the bottom of this file. And initially, what you can do, you can just leave all these things as it is, like enabled, and make sure that
हाँ बनने में
root
हाँ
path is enabled, and then save
हाँ
this file, and make sure that this classification file, reference file, threshold file, all these are enabled, and then just save this and close this file. Let me start again. So now, what we have to do, we have to start the Suricata IDS. So let's go and check. So let's say you do not know the command. So let me show you where you can find. So these things you can also know from here what changes that you have to do. For instance, uh, you can just leave all these rules as it is, as you can see here. And then you can find what are the configurations that you can make sure that is already enabled. So make sure that you go through this guide. It is not very long, just 7 pages. So make sure that all these things are enabled. And home net is your actual network. So in my case, it is 2.15. And as I mentioned, make sure that log directory is enabled. So everything you can see here, it is already given in this how to configure file. And you can follow this and make sure that you are making changes properly. And you can leave these rules as it is. If you maybe you can comment a couple of rules like game dot rules, it is not needed, inappropriate. Initially you can just start with scan rules, DOS rules, and ICMP rules, so that should be fine, the three rules initially. And make sure that you can also leave this threshold file like commented. I have just copied an empty file, and make sure that this classification file, reference file is enabled. So all those informations that I showed you while doing the configurations, you can find it here. And then comes the how we can run the Suricata IDS. So you can run it like, first you have to go in the Suricata directory, and then you have to type. This is a different way. I follow a different way. For instance, here you can see that suricata.exe, and then the configuration file name, and then -i for the interface, and then 2.15 or any IP address that you have on your machine on which Suricata is running. So you can provide that. So you can just use this command to run Suricata, and then it will start capturing all the information. And if it throws any error, then investigate those errors. But that is the process that you will have to follow. So just follow this how to Windows file. It is not very long, and you can install and run Suricata. So now let's go and see how you can run this. So first we need to start this command prompt. So just type CMD. And also, one thing that I would like to let you know. So once you run the CMD in a normal mode, it will not, you won't be able to run Suricata. So just type CMD and then select run as administrator. Then only you will be able to run Suricata. And then click yes. And then let's just make it a bit bigger. And then go in the program files, Suricata. And if you remember the configuration file that we have to run, that is an application, it is in this directory, C program files, Suricata. So let's stop here. And also one thing that I would like to make sure that so make sure that you have a log directory. If you do not have, just check that, and initially check that whether these eve.json file that you see here, I have a lot of logs in my intrusion detection system log file, because I ran different experimentation. And then this is a fast.log file with only the log information that are triggered through the signature. And then these are the stat and Suricata where we are not interested. So make sure that these two files initially is empty. Then only you can make sure that once you are running Suricata, then that it is logging the traffic information. So this is the command as you saw there, suricata.exe, that exe file that we want to run. And then -c is for the configuration, suricata.yaml, and then -i for the interface, and then 2.15. So 2.15 is the IP address of my Windows machine, and then just hit enter. So now it should show that, yeah, engine is started. So once you receive this message, so these are warnings. So I am not interested into going through and resolving the warnings. You can resolve that, but you can also leave. Once engine is started, so now Suricata has started logging. So now let's go and start my Kali machine, and I will launch some attack and show that how you can log those information. So just wait for a while. And work on these projects, use these tools. I mean, because you will only learn by doing things, not by just uh, uh, the video. So just make your hands dirty and use these different tools and concepts that we went through in the past days, and then do some project, because then only you will get some new skills. Because in the current market scenario anywhere, I mean, along with degree, you need to have a good skills to get a job. So let's see, check on Kali. So I think you can see the Kali screen, and I'm just starting the Zen map. 0.2.15. So that is the IP address of my Kali, of my Windows machine. And what I am going to do, I'm going to perform TCP scan and launch this scan. And now it has started. And now let's go back on. And also, it is good to know that you should know that it can take a while for fast.log file or if.json file to start logging initially. It can take time even if you are running it for the second time. So you won't see any information here on the terminal that you are watching right now. Engine is started, so you won't see any information here. All the information will be stored in those log files, if.json and fast.log file. So let's go back and check there. Sorry. So let's open this one. So it may take a while before it starts logging. So you can see now here how you can know whether it is logging or not. So now you can see that it says me the file has been modified by another program. So now that means it is logging all the information. Do you want to reload it? Yes. So it is still. What you can also we can also do. Let's close this file right now. So you can see that I have a lot of logs related with scan, and also I have some UDP traffic. So these are when I perform. So now let's go and see whether the new logs are there or not. So you can see that on June 11th right now, so that it has log these information from different IPs. So there are different IPs also which are logging and sending some traffic information. So this is also one TCP scan that here it has detected. So there are a lot of TCP traffic applications also which are installed on my Windows machine which are sending some traffic. So that is TCP traffic. So that is also it is detecting apart from this scan which is coming from Kali here that you see 10.0.2.7 that is coming from source port 57890 and coming on 2.15 on this destination port. So that is Nmap scan that it has detected. Similarly, again, it is coming from another port that you can going back from from Windows to Kali machine. So all those informations are logging, and these IPs that you see here, these are different applications on my Windows machine which are sending some information to Kali machines. Or even you will find some information which is sending it to some public IP addresses, these applications, because they are contacting Microsoft for updates. So you will find a lot of information here. So let's close this one. It is still working. And so that is, you saw only the logs from the traffic for which it has collected I mean, matched with the signature. So this is another file which can be very interesting to look into, where you will have not only attack traffic, but also some legitimate traffic. So that also you can take a look into. So let's go back, and it can take time to load this traffic as I have a lot of data in that. Yeah, this will take a time. So let's scroll down. So you can see that there are a lot of traffic here that is generated today on 11th June. And you can see the flow ID. So event type here, you see these are the flow. So event type is flow. That means it has found it as an event, like a normal event maybe. And then here you can see the source IP is 2.7 and source port is this one. Let's say what other information, and destination is IP address is 2.15, destination port is another thing, another port which is mentioned, and port is protocol is TCP, and then it has also other information like packet to servers, packet to clients, how many packets went to the server and how many packets went to the client, and how many bytes of data that has been sent, and then what is the start time, end time, so age of the flow, and all those alerted is false. And then what are the other information, TCP flag information that you find it here. So all these details you can find in this if dot. So you will find more detailed information, and you are seeing a lot of flow, but it also has a different type of events apart from the flow. So it what it does, this if.json file, it logs all the information, whether it is alert or flow or anything. So it will log all the different kinds of information that you can find. So this is also one good file that you can use to work with. So let's close this. Close this. I will stop my. Let's use Kali and quickly perform a UDP flood attack. It may log or may not log. So so it has already been done the scan activity. So let's close this. And then do so now I'm closing this. So you can see that quickly it sent 152,000 packets. So we performed these different attacks. So let me just take it. And you can see here, if you try to find information on the terminal of Suricata, you will not get any information. So you have to go and check the log files. So you can ask that, yeah, the files that Suricata has logged this information into, so they are not in the CSV or format. So what you can do, you can use some Python script to convert the files into CSV format. So you can do that, and then you can use those information to analyze it using large language models. So let's try to see whether, so it may take time to log the information. TCP. So here you can see that possible UDP flood attack detected, classification, attempted denial of service attack, from 2.10.0.2.7, and it is coming from the source port 1704, and it is coming on the destination 10.0.2.15, and it is receiver destination port is 0. So that means it is most probably it is a denial of service attack if you see this kind of information, because if destination port is 0 and source ports are random informations, so that means a target, I mean an attacker is trying to just flood the target machine with any source port, and even whether it is received by a destination on some particular port or not, they are just trying to flood the traffic. So that is also logged here, and let's go and check the if.json file. Let's check. So these are the kernel packets. So here, so you see there are also different kinds of events like DNS traffic that is going from my Windows machine to some other IP addresses, 192.168.1.1, and protocol is UDP and packet source. So all this information you will have to analyze. So then I would suggest here you investigate that. First, try to convert this into CSV format and analyze it using some uh, deep learning or large language models. So here also you can find that. So this file contains a lot of different kinds of events, DNS event, flow, and also contains TLS traffic and other things. So all those different kinds of event, you can find it. And here you can see that event is alert, and that is coming from some other source IP address. And it is coming from source port 444, and it is coming on my Windows machine. And alert is action allowed, signature is 5, and so this is also Nmap TCP scan. So that is coming from some different IP addresses. So you need to investigate this from where it is coming. So there are different applications, tools that you can run and identify these kind of traffic. So like TCP view, netstat, you should run on your machine and try to find the information. So this if.json file, you can use it. You can convert these. Like here also, you can see that there are different kinds of event, like event is flow, event is DNS, event is alert. So all those different events can help you to classify the traffic into different groups and based on different information. So let's check here. So this is also the traffic that is from today that you see here. It is coming from 2.7 destination, and destination protocol is 0. So that is the UDP flood attack that we launched. And application protocol, which is failed, it is not detected. So application protocol failed means Suricata IDS has not been able to detect the application protocol, and then you can see packet to server 3 packets and 0 bytes have been uh, sent to the client. So all these information you can analyze it. And these information, for instance, let's say you are trying to analyze the UDP or any kind of denial of service attack. So you can use these kind of information. For instance, when the traffic started and when it ended, and in that period of time, how much packets were sent. So that will give you an idea. So you can also use like at a particular time stamp that you will see a lot of different types of a lot of packets were sent from the source machine on different from different source ports. So you can use all those information and try to see in a particular time window how much packets were sent by the source. So that will also help you in classifying whether this is a denial of service attack, like what kind of denial of service attack it is. If protocol is UDP, then definitely it is UDP flooding attack. So all this information you can analyze it, try to convert, install Suricata, and just use the default rules, and then keep the logs, and then convert these files into CSV and then analyze it. So I will stop here and let's take the questions. Let me stop my Suricata IDS.
I think no questions are
Sorry.
I think no questions are there, or some questions are
Okay.
there still.
Okay. So yeah, just try to install that, and I will share all the slides with Sumit, and he can share with all the slides.
Excuse
We
me,
will do
sir.
that, and we are definitely in touch with you so that we can
Yeah,
start the projects later after completion of the.
sure.
Sir,
Yes, yes, you can
uh,
ask.
sir, I had a doubt regarding last session, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, you previously explained that while deploying IUDs, sir, you said that we need good location so
Yeah.
that it can receive maximum amount of traffic. But sir,
Yeah.
previously you also mentioned that the sensitivity should not be high, as it causes it to overwhelm with traffic. So sir, it's quite conflicting. Can you please explain it?
Yes. So sensitivity and deployment location, these are totally different thing. I will share the slides and then I will show you again. So let's maximize this. So the sensitivity and the deployment location, these are totally different thing in relation with the intrusion detection system. So a good location, what it means. So when you are deploying the IDS, intrusion detection system, it should, of course, get the maximum amount of traffic. Because let's say in your network, you are receiving a lot of traffic from the internet, and you have different network segmentation. So for instance, here, for example, it has been shown one critical subnet, and then another is another network backbone. So these are the different kinds of network. It can be, it can contain any like different kinds of server. And if you have deployed your IDS at location 3 or location 4, then let's say you are resource constrained and you have just deployed the IDS here or here, then you will miss the traffic going to either one of them. So you will either, if you have deployed here, then you will miss the traffic which is going to location 3. If you deploy it here, then you will miss the traffic which is going to location 4. So that is of no use. So what is the best location? Then the best location is location 2, just behind the firewall, because there you will we have one layer of filtering where firewall will drop the traffic which is not matching with its flow table rules, and then you will receive all the traffic which needs to be forwarded in your infrastructure in your network. And then here, if you deploy at location 2, then you will receive the maximum amount of traffic in your on your IDS, and then you can like if you it is a signature based IDS, then it will use all the signatures or rules that it has and scan all the traffic that it is receiving. And if it finds any matching signature, then it will generate an alert. And if you in that case, let's say if you just deploy it here, then all the traffic which is going through location 4, you will not be able to analyze those traffic with your intrusion detection system. So that is the best location. So deployment location is where we should deploy our intrusion detection system, where we receive maximum amount of traffic so that we can analyze those traffic for any kind of intrusion activities. And now coming back to sensitivity level is different. So sensitivity level is like if you make your IDS too sensitive for detecting any kind of deviation from the normal signature or normal behavior. Then if let's say traffic doesn't match with the normal behavior, especially we consider the sensitivity level in terms of anomaly based intrusion detection system, clearing that. So if the sensitivity level is very high, then what will happen? Let's say we have set some classes like normal traffic or malicious traffic. And if something just deviates from the normal, it will just flag that, yeah, everything is malicious. Then you will have a lot of alerts. And then your SOC analyst will sit and they will just go through all those information, and it will cause alert fatigue to them. And then they will ignore a lot of alert, and they will just analyze couple of alerts that they are able to do that in short time window. And that can cause cyber attack on your infrastructure because you ignored a lot of alerts. So you should set a sensitivity level by tuning your IDS in such a way that it doesn't generate too much alerts. And it should also definitely not ignore alerts, I mean traffic, because that will also cause that if sensitivity level is very low, then it will allow a lot of traffic. It will just classify it as a normal. So that is where you have to tune your IDS in a proper way so that it correctly classifies the traffic. Even if it deviates, it can maybe you will have a different class and you can suspicious or anything like that, whether you can take a look into that, but it is of no very high severity. So that is where the tuning of your IDS comes into picture, where you have to tune. So the sensitivity and deployment location, it is totally different thing, and they are unrelated. Let's go and take another question.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I was
What?
asking that if signature is not matched, will the IDS or IPS will allow the traffic?
So what IDS will do generally, IDS, the role of intrusion detection system is to uh, identify the intrusion and keep the logs and alert, notify the administrator. And that is the general role. And if you have configured your intrusion detection system to also behave as an intrusion prevention system, then what it will do based on, like, let's say if it has detected traffic and it matches with its signature, then definitely it is going to block those that traffic. But if it doesn't match, then it will not block the traffic. But if you have not configured your IDS to behave as a intrusion prevention system, then it doesn't matter. If it finds the traffic matching with its signature, then it will keep the log or it will just allow. In Suricata, you just saw that we have another file, eve.json, which logs all the activities, whether it is normal flow or it is an alert and or anything. So that file can be also very important to take a look into that, because maybe your alert has or your signature has not triggered an alert, but maybe since Surya has this feature to log all the events in another file, so you can go and take a look into that, and maybe you will find some kind of intrusions. So that is a nice feature of Suricata intrusion detection system, so that you can take a look into that. And if you are installing it, I will suggest you to use this eve.json file, because it will have a lot of different traffic information with different event types. And then that can help you to build a good model. So use that. And yeah, if firewall and traffic, I explained that firewall is a device that we generally deploy at the boundary of our or perimeter of our network to just check the traffic that we are receiving, whether we should allow that traffic to come inside our infrastructure or we should just block. And traffic is like any packets that you are seeing here that we saw in the Wireshark. So all the source like different kinds of packets. So those are the traffic that we generally call. So those are the network traffic generally that we launch the attack using scan or HPing, like denial of service attack. And then you saw in previous session that in the Wireshark we had all those packets. So all those things are traffic that we call generally. And also one thing I just forgot to mention that I forgot that I was about to say something also. But yeah, let me know if you have any problem. We can resolve those issues if you have any problem. So
There you can share
just
your
try.
mail ID to them if they
Yeah,
want to.
I will. Yeah, I have mentioned the email
Mail
ID.
ID.
Yeah, I will. Let me share it here also. And I will mention this on the slide
After
also.
after all the sessions over, again we'll ask them those who are interested to work with us with you.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure.
That thing we'll do. Yeah.
Yeah,
But still,
yeah,
the mail ID, if any queries are there, so they can access.
yeah, sure, sir. if there are no questions, then we can stop here, I think.
Yes, yes. We can stop.
Okay. Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll contact you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. Thank you.